You ready? Ooh, look at all that eye goop. Hello, and welcome to the Once Upon a Corgi podcast. I'm your host, Gabby, and you can find me everywhere online as Gabby Gales and all my hand-dyed yarn and fiber at Once Upon a Corgi. We are a crafty puppy podcast coming to you from Southern Connecticut. Thank you so much for checking us out. If you're a new viewer, thank you for giving us a chance. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. We have the windows open today. It is the very last week of August, and fall is starting to enter the air, so if you hear any weird clinking or banging, it's the window, the blinds hitting the window. We have our two corgis, Audrey and Iron, sitting under my chair currently, so if you can hear scraping, they have a bone they've been passing back and forth and chewing on against the floor, so those are our noise announcements for the week. There is a Ravelry group for this podcast, Once Upon a Corgi podcast, under the groups tab in Ravelry, and that is where you will find most of our show notes, all of our cows, giveaways, and any other fun things that we have going on. Going right into announcements, we have a couple giveaways to announce, we have a couple cows to announce, so let's get into it. I think we should start off with the giveaways because those are the most exciting. We have two giveaways this week, one of which is for the color blending wrap by Mina Phillip from the Knitting Expat podcast. She graciously donated a copy of the pattern for you guys. So we had a prompt in the Ravelry group. Do you prefer larger blanket shawls or smaller accessory shawlettes? So I used the Amazon Echo to make sure she didn't turn on, draw a winner. We had 68, I believe, posts. So and post, shh, it's okay, just have your bone, get your bone. I see, it's post number 15, which is Symbol My Knee and Tea. I hope I'm saying that right. And that is Leanne from the Netherlands. So congratulations. You send me a message on Ravelry and I will send your info over to Mina so she can get that pattern over to you. Congratulations. Yay. I love doing giveaways. Our second giveaway is provided to us by a gracious viewer of the podcast. So we have I put it in a nice neat bag so we didn't get any dog hair on it, a skein of hedgehog fiber on their sock base in the Genie colorway, a pair of Hiya Sharp sock needles in the 2.25 millimeter US 1 size, and a Corgi Progress Keeper. Oops, camera's over here. Nah. So that was a super popular, I think that was our most popular giveaway thread yet. The prompt was, what sock pattern do you really want to cast on and just haven't? Because you haven't, or because you feel like you haven't gotten to that skill sock level yet. And the, oops, we used the Amazon Echo once again to pull a random number, and that random number was 34, which is S. Nostine. Hope I'm saying your name correctly, and that is Shannon from Michigan, I believe. I didn't write that one down. So congratulations, get in touch with me on Ravelry again with your address, and I will get this out into the mail to you this week. I'm going to put up another thread this week. We're just giveaway central. Jacqueline from the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast. I don't know why I forgot your podcast name for a minute there. She just released her first sock pattern and she gifted me a pattern, which was super nice, and I think I have a skein of yarn like accidentally set aside for it. I was going to make the strawberry frappuccino socks out of it, but it does want to be a cabley sock of some sort, so it might become her new Clark socks. And she sent us a pattern for a giveaway, so I'm going to put up a thread in the Ravelry group for that, And we are going to use Jacqueline's oh-so favorite prompt, which is name 3 good things that have happened to you in the past 24 hours. I feel like that's going to be a really pleasant one. So head over there and check it out. That will go up for 1 week. That is all of our giveaway stuff. We have a couple Cal announcements, or Mal's, I think they're both Mal's, which is the Cocoa Dress Sew Along, which we're sort of extending into a Tilly in the Button Sew Along. One person asked if they have some Tilly in the Button patterns, but not the Cocoa dress. So if you've got a Tilly in the Buttons dress pattern and you would like to join along, you are more than welcome. There's a thread in the Ravelry group and there's a lot of chit chat going on. It is using knit fabric, so it's been quite an adventure for basically all of us into the knits world of sewing. And that officially starts September 1st. So right now we are in the pre-make-along stages of making sure we have all of our fabric, all of our needles, all of our pattern pieces. And I can't wait for that to start. I'm hoping I can do a couple videos of it, sort of just like a vlog of sewing it. And I will show the fabric for that pattern in stash building, because it finally came in. I didn't think it was gonna make it in time. The last make-along announcement we have is the Pumpkin Mal. Woo! We are celebrating that today with our first round of pumpkin spice coffee creamer that I bought 3 days ago. It's officially fall in Connecticut. Pumpkin spice is out and everything. Do you need coffee? Do you need some puppy coffee? The Pumpkin Mal I am hosting with my fellow Pum Queen, Joanna, from the Stitching the High Notes podcast. We are running it from September 15th until American Thanksgiving. And I can't wait. Anything pumpkin inspired, themed, colored, shaped, spun, crocheted, knit. When you have the windows open, that means the dogs can hear all the other dogs yelling out all of their windows. So it's gonna be a barky episode. What was I saying? Yes, make anything pumpkin-y. You can sew it, you can spin it, you can crochet it, you can knit it, you can weave it, as long as you make it and it's pumpkin-y. I will open the chatter thread for that this week. FO thread will go up a couple days after the 15th because I believe last year it was no whips allowed. I have to check on that. And that, I believe, is it for make-alongs for now. I know once the Volca socks go live, there will be a knit-along, but the FO thread for that will be in Hannah's Ravelry group for the corner of crafty podcast. But I will give you details on that when I figure it out. All right, let's get into some knitting. We have one huffo, if you will, bringing that back from the last 2 weeks that we had it. Oh, before I get into the knitting, what am I wearing? I am wearing the Wendy pullover in Hedgehog Fibers, pollen colorway with a unicorn tail for the collar, and I'll just stand on my tippy toes. Apparently my legs are giving out. My zinnia skirt by Hand London? Colette Patterns? Forgot who made the skirt. But it's version number, it's one of the versions. I have 2 versions of the skirt. As I was saying, I have a huffo. Putting all my letters mixed up. I have finished my Afterthought Everything tube. So this is half of the full skein from Legacy Fiber Arts Advent calendar, 25 skeins of Christmas thing they did last year. Adrian and I bought it for each other, so we split the whole kit, and that was our Christmas gifts to each other, which was a genius idea. If you and siblings or parents also love knitting and both want the kit but don't want one whole kit, it was good. It was fun. So he did the same thing with his socks, which I think was genius because it made sure I used every little bit of the yarn. So I think I have enough to put in my pinwheel blanket, which is perfect. And there's a dragonfly stuck to it. So I have finished the tube. I used a long tail cast on for this side, did a 1x1 rib, knit until I had about 8 grams left, did a 1x1 rib, and used This is surprisingly stretchy bind off, which, I mean, looks different, definitely, but it's not flaring out as much as it usually does. So I did want to experiment with doing the super stretchy bind off, but going down a needle size so it doesn't flare out, so it kind of tucks in. But whatever. Maybe next time, if I remember. So the plan with these guys now is to pop in some needles over here, cut, take them apart, knit some toes, and then cut in some afterthought heels. This was my movie theater knitting and my restaurant knitting and just the general one. You just need a giant tube of vanilla stockinette knitting. I'm very excited for these. I don't know if they'll be my Christmas socks, but I love them nonetheless. I don't know the colorway name. I think it's on their steel toes base. And I knit it on a size 2.5 millimeter, my Nova Cubics. And I have some I keep finding popcorn in this bag. I'm going to use the leftovers of Hedwig from my Fairy Hill shawl as the heels and toes. So they're gonna be quite Christmassy. I might do that tomorrow afternoon. Cut everything. And the rest is really just whips, which is mostly sweaters, per usual. So let's do it. Because we haven't, oh no, I worked on my Volca socks. I didn't knit during Game of Thrones last week because my arms were starting to get really tired, so I decided, I held my socks, but I didn't knit on my socks. So at least it felt like I was doing something. But I cast on my second Volca sock. This is the Volca pattern by Becky from the Stringing It Together podcast and Soprano Knits. This will go live on Friday, this Friday. I'm super excited for it. And I am doing it on the Something Sinister and Dark Like My Soul MCN kit that we put together. And I put the happy little cloud on it. So now I have a sad sock and a happy sock. The other sock is exactly where it was last time I showed you. Once I get to the end of the pattern on this leg, I'm going to knit a couple rounds on each one and then pop in the heels. But I'm just, once again, loving the way this is knitting up. I'm doing this on 2.25 millimeter Hayas, not sharps. And just loving the knit, loving the yarn, loving these progress keepers, loving the pattern. I'm very excited to try her heel still. A little mad at myself for saying I have to wait, but I'm really excited to get these done at the same time. We'll scoot closer. There's a close-up of the yarn. Oh, no, that'd be too easy. There we go. I just love this texture. And I did this in about 2 Parks and Recs episodes. I started rewatching Park and Recreations because I didn't know what else to watch, so we're back on that game. I'm so excited for these to be out in the world, and they are still in my Socksettra bag. So sweaters. I'm still obsessed, still love them, and I'm in the middle of a row. Lucky you! I'm gonna show this one really quickly because it doesn't look much different. Yeah, it doesn't look much different. I'm still in my fallopian tubes of the Hope cardigan by Amy Christoffers in Lana Planté color. No, Planté yarn in the Marigold colorway on their Rambouillet base. In the middle of the row. I have about 2 more inches of this, and then I separate for the front and back. So I'm about here, I need to be here, and then I can start knitting each side. So it's lots of stockinette. It's been very good car knitting. I took it up to Vermont with us this past Friday. It's been relatively good TV knitting, until I forget to add the yarn overs. And it's chugging along. I'm very excited for it. It's just in the bit in like the middle of the sweater where you're like, yeah, this is awesome. But then you're like, I have so much just this to do. Am I purling right now? Is that why? Yeah, that's why I stopped. I'm hoping to separate for the sleeves by the next time I podcast. That's my goal. I think it's good to have those weekly goals. Here's a close-up of the yarn again. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for this sweater. Rhinebeck sweater number 2 has been getting a lot of love, mostly because there was a giant boxing match last night. So last night there was a boxing match between Floyd Mayweather, who was like an undefeated boxer, and Conor McGregor, who is a giant UFC fighter. And Jake's friends were having like a little party gathering and projected it onto the side of one of their houses so we could all watch it. So we did that last night. And if there's one thing that you need to do while sitting outside watching boxing in the dark, is a giant stockinette tube. So our fade got a lot of love. Doesn't look like it, but it sure felt like it. The Franco fade is fading. We have faded into our third color, which is this guy. It is Franco V Knits it starts with an S. I don't know where I put the tags, but. So it's on her Pyrenees base, which is the Polworth in the Senecool colorway. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But it is this lovely lavender with speckles of blue and green and purples. And it's just like a little lavender cloud. That's really what it is. So I faded into that last night, which I was very proud of myself for doing in the dark, outside, wrapped in blankets while watching men fight. Props to me. And we have another about 5 inches of purple to go. And then we are on to our last color, which is La Bien-Aimée in Magellanic Cloud. I love it. I just can't wait for this to be done. Oh, it looks like a real sweater. I think the fit's going to be really nice right now. You have to pull it a little bit to get it to my sides, but with blocking, it is all superwash. It will stretch a little bit, and it just looks so good. Oh, Devin is a dying genius. You've never knit with Franco V Knits. I highly recommend it because you should, 100%. Can we just like look at this fade right now? Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. I really want to knit on it now. I had to make myself stop knitting on it so I could record the podcast today, but I might like be naughty and take the afternoon off and continue knitting on it. Oh, I forgot to get my stash building because I'm knitting this on size 3 US 3 Addy Turbo needles. I don't think they're the lace ones, but they're relatively sharp. And those 2 sweaters have been the majority of our knitting for the past week. Because in my brain, now that September's almost here, that means October is here. Like, I'm just completely taking September out of the schedule in my head. And we did, now that I'm looking at it, not a very significant amount, but we did a little bit of work on our Vila wrap, which is the 3rd shawl in the Shawl Society 2 collection by Helen Stewart. Now that I'm looking at this, I thought I put way more into this. Last time I showed you, we had just this tiny garter ridge, and now we have these 4 rows. Oh God. So I am knitting this on Once Upon a Corgi yarns on the penny base. The gray is Something Sinister, which I get my clips for because it is untwisting like a mad person. Oops, now Audrey's walking in it. And we are striping it with the Dame Blanche, which is one of our Outlander colorways. So that's where we are. Not far along. I thought I did knit way more on that than I actually did. So oops. I don't even think I finished like a full stripe. Apparently I left myself like the world's tiniest end to weave in. What is wrong with me? Anyway, I'm knitting these on now US size 7 Knitter's Pride Dreams, which I took off my Oracle shawl after I cast that off. So the plan is to just chug away at this a little bit at a time. I'm not really into shawls right now, but I figure I don't think I'll get it done for New England Fiber Festival, but I'd like to be at a good point where I can work on it while there. And those are our whips. We have a little bit of dream knitting because I realized last night when I went to go grab some socks to bring that I had to bring my So Faded because I didn't have any vanilla socks on the needles. I finished them all, sort of. None of them have heels, but you can't really do that in the dark while watching Fight and eating wings. So we went through our stash and we looked at all the yarn that we picked out for the rest of our box of socks and decided we don't want to knit any of that right now. But I found, by found I mean stuck my hand in my shelf and pulled this out. It is the Nomadic Yarns Rhinebeck sweater weather colorway from last year that my mom got me for Christmas and gave to me for my birthday. So I'm gonna cast these on. Oh, I just love these gobstoppers. I didn't want to cake anything up, so I was definitely going for one of the self-stripings I had. It was between this, the Brave colorway from Peach Queen Yarns, or casting on Jake's Dwight socks. And I'm going to use my 9-inch circulars and give them another shot. They're a size 0, 2.0 millimeter by ChowGoo. I knit one pair of socks for Jake on them, and they were okay. So I think I'm gonna give them another go for me and see what happens. We'll see. See how I like them. If I don't like them after this, then I just won't use them anymore. I'll de-stash them. Ooh, I had to get my shop, not my shop update, my stash. So we have a little bit of stash building. As you might have noticed on the channel, I put up a vlog from the Vermont to Webb's adventures we went on Friday. My mom won gift cards to all the yarn stores, so we weren't sure when they expired, and thinking it better to use them now instead of wait till next year's shop hop and then find out they all expired 6 months ago. We drove up to Brattleboro, Deerfield, and Webb's. Was that it? No, we stopped somewhere else. Deerfield? Nope, that was it. Deerfield, Brattleboro, and then Northampton for Webb's. So mom could use up all of her gift cards, and I was very good and did not spend any money on yarn, but I did pick up some 9-inch circulars, even though I just said I wasn't sure if I'd like them, for the sleeves of my So Faded. So they are a size 3, 3.25, Nova Platina, which I really like the interchangeables that I have of this needle. So I'm very excited to give them a shot because I didn't have any, the only size 3 needles are the ones that are on the body. And I didn't want to like get weird laddering trying to make those be magic loop, so I figure since we're stopping at Webb's, you might as well just pick up some needles because they had a fantastic selection of everything, as you probably saw. I'm very excited to go back there again and play with the wheels and oogle at the weaving room. I mean, I don't weave, but it was beautiful. Our other stash building, since we have this pumpkin make-along going on, and I've been craving lots of sewing recently, I picked up some pumpkin fabric. So the plan is to make project bags out of these, although now that I'm looking at them, I feel like this would be like a really cute shirt. Right? Am I just pumpkin crazy? I might just be pumpkin crazy. So I'm gonna make some project bags out of these. I might make some for a giveaway or prizes. We'll see, because I don't really have, I say that I don't have a sweater bag, but I realize all my sweaters are in bags. But I just really I just want a pumpkin bag. So I make no promises on making some for the make along as prizes, but there might be. It depends on how big I make my bag. I just don't want to tell you guys I'm gonna do it and then run out of time. But maybe. When I make them, I'll let you know. The other thing that came in this week is my fabric for the Coco dress. I ordered 2 different kinds of knits, but unfortunately I have to return the other one. I don't know what happened. I had a striped knit in my cart, and then I deleted it, and then I picked something else and just bought it and didn't really look at it. So it's a very lightweight sweatshirt knit that just isn't gonna work, so I have to return that. And I think I'm just gonna hold off until I get the striped one, until after I make the first one. But here is my fabric for my cocoa dress. It is a, oh, I lost the thing. It is a knit, and it's got stretch, but it's not like super, super stretchy, and it's got this fun, like, I didn't see this in the picture, but it's textured. Can you see that? So I'm very excited for like that just little detail. I think it's still gonna be a really nice dress. I'm very excited for it because I'm all about the florals on black backgrounds for life. Very excited. It is washed, it is dried, it is ready to go. And I got both of those guys on fabric.com. And I forgot how to fold fabric apparently. I love it. I'm very excited. I think I'm gonna try and cut this out on Saturday next week. We'll see. We'll see what my recording schedule does. All right, and that is it for stash building. That's it for the knitting and crafting stuff. The rest of this will be the shop update and life stuff. So if you are not here for either of those, thank you so much for watching. And if you are, let's get on with the show. Shop update will be on September 1st this week, which is Friday. We are going to have it at 10 a.m. We're switching stuff up completely and utterly. But it's our 1-year anniversary, so we can do what we want. Mostly because we are releasing the Bulka sock pattern on September 1st at 10 a.m. So I figured instead of having 2 shop updates and making people wait to buy their yarn, why not just do it all in one go? Make it easy for everyone. I won't show them all again, but your kit will include your full skein of yarn, your 25-gram mini skein, your stitch marker, and the pattern, and you will get a code emailed to you for the pattern on Ravelry. We're still trying to iron out that detail to make sure everyone gets their pattern efficiently, because I'm not really sure how to do a physical item and an email item on Etsy. I'm still learning. What else do I have to say about these? So the MCN kits will be $42. The Polworth kits will be $40. And there are 32 kits total going up into the shop, and then when those sell out, we will put up some pre-orders for the yarn. Audrey's just like sitting under my chair with her head between my knees and her nose sticking up, just like, just pet me please. I haven't gotten enough pets today. The other things that will be going up in the shop on Friday are pre-orders. I'm going to put up pre-orders for neutrals and tonals like Narnia, Gilded Teacup, Warm and Cozy, Hedwig, Something Sinister. Trying out a new setup for dyeing. I do really like the ready to ship stuff a lot. I like being able to just pick it off the shelf and go. But we're gonna try something new with like the tonals and the neutrals, so then there's always a tonal or a neutral in the shop, so then if you want to get a speckle and you want to pair it with something immediately, you don't have to wait for another shop update. So we're gonna see how this goes. If it doesn't work out, we'll go back to just ready to ship stuff, and if it does work out, we'll keep it that way. So let me know what you think. I'm going to be putting up the Pum Queen kit pre-orders. There's going to be 2 different versions. In it you will get Pum Queen and Bone of My Bone on the Polworth DK. So the kit options are 1 100-gram skein of each or 2 100-gram skeins of each. Then you can do like a smaller shawl or like the Road to Rhinebeck mystery knit along. So I'm gonna put those up for the fall winter section because I fell in love with these so much. I just can't stop looking at it after Joanna and I put it together for her Road to Rhinebeck shawl, and now I'm obsessed. Now I kind of want to knit it in the same thing. What is currently up in the shop and has some pre-orders up and some ready to dye, or not ready to dye, ready to ship skeins is our 1-year anniversary colorway Boss Lady, who I just had a blast dyeing up and I'm thoroughly enjoying, and I kind of want to make into socks. I think I might dye myself up a skein and knit it into socks. I love it. I didn't even realize we were hitting 1 year until like the day it happened when I was talking to someone like, oh yeah, I've been in literally business for 1 year now. today. Some skeins that will be going up into the shop as ready to dye stuff. I know the shop update's a little bit crazy with dye to orders and kits, and it's a little bit everywhere. It's the beginning of the busy season. We will be having La Dame Blanche up in the shop as well because Outlander starts in a week. So we gotta get the Outlander colorways. And it is not done drying yet. It is still hanging out, but we will have apple fritters up in the shop. I looked at the fall colorways and realized we have lots of pumpkins, so we're gonna try and bring some other fall flavors in. Do apple fritters again, and I'm kind of thinking of another apple themed yarn. I've got one at the brain. For a full list of what will be in the shop each week, there is a newsletter you can sign up for. If you go to onceuponacorgi.com and scroll all the way down, you can sign up for the newsletter, and that will let you know exactly, what is this hair doing? Exactly what is going into the shop each week. And follow on Instagram, because if there's any new surprises that I throw in, you will definitely know there first. And that's it for shop update stuff. That will be Friday, September 1st at 10 a.m. And I really hope you guys can make it. I'm very excited to get all of these things released and kick off the real fall. And that leaves us with life stuff. Once again, we went to Vermont on Friday. Adrian and Mama Gergs and I went up, and it was a lovely trip up. It was really nice to see all the little shops in Brattleboro and walk around there again. Last time I went up there was for a show right after college, so I haven't been in a couple years. And going to Webb's for the first time, which is really exciting. If you're in the Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, Vermont, Maine, maybe not Maine, New Hampshire, if you're in like the middle of New England or close to it, I would say it's worth the drive. It's really good for big bulk orders because they just have like a warehouse section of just like bags of the same dye lot of yarn and needles. They had a lot of needles. Good for notions. Really good for notions. Before that, the eclipse happened on that Monday. Was it that Monday? I think it was that Monday. We were about 75% coverage, so not really close to totality, but it was super fun to go out with my little pinhole Cocoa Puffs box and look at it. I don't think I've seen an eclipse since like elementary school. I don't know if I've ever seen a total solar eclipse, to my knowledge. I don't remember. But that was fun to, you know, watch and experiment and see everybody. And NASA had a live stream of the whole thing from Oregon to South Carolina, so that was really fun to like see everyone's reaction like chain down the country. I love science stuff. What else did we do? What else did we do? Buckle up. Oh, so life stuff coming up, really. September is going to be super busy. I'm toying with the idea of doing 4 smaller vlogs for September instead of 4 podcasts, because every weekend so far has something happening one of, if not both, the days of that weekend. So instead of skipping the month of September podcast-wise, I think I'm just gonna do vlogs. But to start September, oh god, we have a wedding on Friday. It's at night, that's why the shop update's really early in the morning. And it's for our good friends who already have a home and dishes and all the things that, you know, usually you get for a wedding registry. So Jake had a really good idea to make them a blanket. Yeah. It was sort of a, we should make them something. And I said, as long as you can knit it in like 2 hours, we can do that. And then I remembered Adrian has this giant crochet hook. He got this at Loopy Mango at Vogue Knitting Live this past year. It is a US 50, 25 millimeter. Yeah. And he knit a black blanket in, I want to say, like 3 hours. So the plan is essentially to copy that idea. And he was kind enough to give us his leftovers. And this is just some Craft Smart and I think Red Heart acrylic yarns in the worsted weight. And we've got some grays, medium grays, light grays, and black. So we're gonna pick up, I think we're gonna pick up a blue gray and a brown because they have a very slate gray themed house with lots of exposed wood, and essentially hold this 8 strands together and crochet until we run out of yarn. that's our plan. I'm telling you this. Oh, so Jake and I are gonna sit down tomorrow, Monday morning / afternoon, whenever he's done running his errands and I finish my work stuff, and crochet it. I'm going to try my hardest to remember to take a picture of it, but because this is essentially due on Friday, if I forget, at least you know I told you about it. So it did happen. So when I don't have any knitting to show next week, it's because I was crocheting a Jagondo blanket with 1,000 strands of yarn held together. And that's basically it for life stuff. We've got the season finale of Game of Thrones tonight, so I have to mentally prepare myself for that for the rest of the day, essentially. And try really hard not to knit a whole sweater in a day and like break my arms. Good? Ready for nap? Are you ready for a little puppy nap? I'm going to cut us off here. Got some packages I gotta get ready to ship. I got some yarn I gotta prep to dye. So thank you so much for watching, for coming back, for participating in everything, and for the support. I hope everybody has a good week, and I will see you next week. Bye.